wrong, Dad? Please tell me.
Your Nan is dying.
She doesn't know, so you can't say anything. The family thinks it's better not to tell her.
Why is that better?
Chinese people have saying, when people get cancer, they die.
I want to start off by talking about why we're here, and that's the farewell.
Okay.
Got to catch it recently, and I wondered, at what point were you brought into this project? Had you read the script? Had you even heard the podcast?
I didn't,
Yeah.
but you see, this is how smart Lulu is, right?
Uh-huh.
She sent me the link to the podcast, the NPR, This American Life thing. And I was just so taken by it, man, because it's in her own voice. It was a half hour of an audio that she did about this whole thing, with her dad, mom, all their voices were there on that podcast. And I said, man, this is an amazing story. Then she sent me the script. She's really smart. I said, oh, well, the script is just like the podcast. I said, fantastic. So that's what really, took me just completely, to the moon with this stuff. It's so great.
You didn't know until after listening to the podcast that she was thinking of you for the role of HAIYAN, for the father.
No,
Right.
no. I mean, she did mention something in the email. If I don't remember exactly, but I don't. You know what? She might not even said that.
Right.
But in any case, yeah. so it's I'm honored,
Of course.
because I got a chance to meet Dad. I mean, the dude is phenomenal. He's just an amazing man. I mean, really, Lulu should do a film about him.
What's it been like to kind of be part of this? I know it's so personal for Lulu, but to kind of be in the orbit of this.
Whatever we do as a community is that we're part of a chain, and every link is important. I think every link, if it's strong and it means something, it propels us forward. So this is a really strong link, and it will be in some ways that represents maybe even 5 or 10 links in the chain.
Yeah.
Because it's so strong. And I can't think of a better place to be in this moment of my life and to be able to do these kind of projects. And I really see the impact. I see people interested in it. People are beginning to have a much more open mind about who we are, and I think, until that happens, it'll be still one of those 2 step forward, 1 step back kind of tangles, right?
Right.
Which we don't really see progress for real, but I think this is the dawn of a new day. That was my first feature, right? And it was directed by Uli Lamo, who happens to be one of Fassbinder's actors, who decided to direct. And it was shot at Andy Warhol's estate. Everybody who's anybody in the jet set at that time, who's a frequent visitor of Studio 54, would come and visit. It was one of those crazy projects that I wasn't interested in. Because I was doing theater, and I love doing theater, and I really just film movies. Who cares, right? There's no roles for me. I don't identify with anybody on screen that I see, So what's the point? I walked in there and I said, well, this guy is he's a cook, and I said, well, if I want to play a cook, I might as well be a cook. So why would I want to be a cook in a film? I said, I tell you what, if he's a cook and he's the best friend, he's also the bodyguard, I might be interested. And they said, well, what can you do? Let's take, what about the bodyguard? I said, what can you do in the body? I said, well, I remember this thing where Bruce Lee did this thing where he jumped up and kicked the chandelier in some audition. And I used to study martial arts, so I can do that. So I said, okay, so you need to see if I can be a bodyguard. That's easy. I jumped up and I put a hole in the ceiling. And they said, you're hired. I like your idea. The cook, the bodyguard, and the best friend.
You can have Tibet.
What?
Yeah. You can have Tibet back.
Are you fucking kidding me?
No, Right after the election, you can have it back. I mean, I'll have to condemn your actions publicly, of course.
Of course.
Is there an element, especially with something like Veep or Silicon Valley, where you feel any of these shows, you
Yeah.
feel like there's such a specific rhythm to the show?
Yeah.
And as a recurring role, a guest role,
Yeah.
do you have to? Does it take time to really calibrate to the speed, the level that the cast is on?
No.
Or is it easier to just kind of jump right?
Completely. But you know why? Because they're so good at it. You know, Julia's amazing. I mean, she's been doing this. I mean, look, if Veep didn't get canceled, she'll win another Emmy.
Sure.
You know what I'm saying? So I guess actors who are doing comedy, say, oh, thank God she's done, because at least I get a chance to get the Emmy, right? And I mean, really, when you work with this caliber of cast, it's just it's a piece of cake, because they are so in tune, and then when you come in, you kind of you just let it go. Go with the rhythm, because they will take you to the finish line, really. So to me, I mean, that's the way I feel.
Sure.
That when they're that good, it just makes life a lot easier.
Yeah, professionals.
Yeah,
right.
I think so.
Tell them who you are.
Do we have confirmation?
Just a few more seconds, sir.
Tell them who you are. My name is CHI-JANG.
You see that, here's a guy who happens to be basically the mirror image of Jack Bauer on the other side.
Right.
So he's going to be like a pit bull. He's not going to go, he's going to come after you, just like he would, So it's the same thing. It's like it's a parallel going that way. And the fact that all of that, progress into several seasons, you can see the change. You can see what happens is that he's basically been abandoned by his own government. Because he got in trouble, and then he got, basically injured. He's got burn scars, and hence brings us to, live another day, where he just totally went rogue.
Right.
He just went, you know what? I'm looking out for number one, and that's me. And you understand that. You understand that Chen Zhi is definitely going through a path where it makes sense. It's logical for the audience to see, and it's exciting. You see this guy completely just turn cold-blooded, man. Of course, meets his terrible end at the end, but nonetheless, it's deserving.
我只是一心想帮忙，请原谅我。我只能依赖 FBI 把苏阳找回来，他们送你去机场。我知道一定是军涛干的。军涛。
You know that film is historical, really, because it's the first time you have an Asian and black lead in a film. Normally it's the salt and pepper, like the weapons, it's always black and white. But it's the first time you have Asian and black, as the leads in a film, and you can feel the chemistry. I mean, you're never sure because, you have a script in hand, right? And I thought, really, the powers that be were very smart about this movie.
Right.
They surrounded Chris and Jackie, and not because Jackie is not a veteran. Jackie's a veteran; he's a superstar. But the language had is an impingement to his work, right? So basically, you hired guys like Mark Ralston, Tom Wilkinson, myself. You have Jackie. And who is the other FBI guy? But if you add all the years together, that's 200 years of acting.
Yeah.
So no matter where Chris and Jackie turn, there's somebody to bounce off of all the time. No matter, if you look at every scene, they are surrounded by us.
Right.
Somehow we evolve, around them, so that no matter what happens, in the development of that scene, they're never left alone. So you really, and then of course, the chemistry between these two guys.
Right.
Forget about it. It's out of the park, man. I mean, it's so cool. And I think.
We're running out of time. Let's go.
Let me tell you about Dante's Peak that is so special. Is that it's the only film where the entire team are seen as volcanologists. Nobody ever mentioned about our ethnicity.
Right.
No one. I mean, we don't have a last name. Everybody's by their first name is like, oh, that's Stan. It's like you don't really kind of, have to fight this kind of thing where oh well, where's he from? I really appreciate the fact that we were taken at face value of who we were in the context of a science a science film.
Are we finally working towards a point where more movies are being cast that way?
I hope so. I think Awkwafina really helps.
Yeah.
Because you couldn't find someone more American than Awkwafina, man. Come on, man. The girls from Queens.
Yeah.
So I think the audience is beginning to go, you know what? Hey, these are Americans, I mean, instead of, I think they're going to redefine what when they start doing castings, the all-American look. What is that?
Yeah.
What
is that?
I think after this type of movie that's out there that kind of redefines what exactly is the all-American look, I would think, there are going to be some interesting answers coming back to it.